All right, so we're diving into a listener request. And this one has like all the hallmarks of a seriously good mystery. It's about Mike from Mike's Waffen Facts.
Oh, yeah.
You know him, right?
Of course.
Spinning those wild theories and then just vanishing.
Yeah.
After that last, well, let's just say intense episode.
Intense is putting it mildly.
Hey, get this. Things have only gotten weirder since then.
Oh, it's a whole rabbit hole. We're talking a full-on digital breadcrumb trail here.
Okay, lay it on me.
First, you've got that older Doza Crew track, Dursnot,
Right.
where Mike actually lent his voice to it, remember?
Right. Yeah.
Which, of course, just threw gasoline on the already raging fire, Speculation was rampant.
Totally. Everyone was trying to figure out what it meant.
And now, just to make things even more cryptic,
Oh, no.
2 brand new Doza Crew songs, Wanderer and Seeger, they've just dropped.
Okay.
But this time, the featured artist is someone called Mikkel.
Mikkel.
Yeah.
It's like, almost Mike's name, but like just distorted enough
Right.
to make you think, is this a clue?
Exactly.
And the timing, right after that fan video trying to decipher it all. Could this be Mike sending us signals through the music?
It's possible.
Dropping hints about where he is or what happened?
That's what we're here to figure out. That's the whole point of this deep dive.
I am so ready. So we're going to break down these lyrics, right? Wanderer and Seeger.
Yep.
Look for any traces of Mike's personality. You know what he was like on Mike's Waffen Facts?
Exactly. We need to look for those echoes.
And see if we can connect any of this back to that last episode.
That's the key, or anything he said in the past.
Oh, good point. Good point. Okay, so Wanderer.
Yeah.
Just the title itself seems significant.
Absolutely.
It gives you this picture of someone on the move.
Like a lone wolf.
Yeah, striking out on their own, maybe even running from something.
The lyrics definitely paint that picture of restlessness.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of talk about being broke but feeling free, hitting the road with nothing but the clothes on your back. And then there's that line about no looking back.
Whoa.
You get this sense of finality, like closing a chapter and starting fresh.
Wow. Okay, so we think back to Mike's Waffen Facts. Does any of that sound familiar?
Well, let's see.
I mean, the guy was always railing against authority, remember?
Oh, yeah. How can I forget?
Talk about living life on his own terms.
Right.
He even called his apartment the Schwattenbunker, remember?
Yeah, like some kind of fortress.
Exactly. Against the outside world.
So there are definitely some parallels there. You've got that defiance, that self-reliance. It's in both the lyrics and Mike's personality for sure.
Right.
But we have to remember Wanderer could also just be about a free spirit.
True.
A love of adventure, not necessarily hiding or running away from anything concrete.
Good point.
We can't jump to conclusions.
Okay, but then there's this phrase that keeps popping up.
Which one?
Guten Morgen, mein kleiner Sonnenschein. It's in Seeger, too.
Interesting. So you think it's more than just random German?
I don't know, is it a code? A message to someone? Did Mike ever mention Germany or use that phrase before?
That's a good question. It's worth looking into.
What do we have to do?
I think we need to go back.
Okay.
Comb through all those Mike's Waffen Facts episodes, listen to those chaotic rants again, and see if there's any mention of Germany or that specific phrase or anything that could be a coded reference.
These could be big.
It could be, but it needs context.
Okay. So speaking of Seeger, things take a pretty sharp turn there, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
It suddenly gets aggressive, almost boastful.
It's a different energy for sure.
Like the singer just came out on top of a serious fight.
Definitely.
There's even a line about a hole in the head. Lock him cough, the song says. Could this be literal?
You're thinking about that last podcast with Rickard.
Yeah. Things got pretty heated, especially when they were arguing about those solar Bosel-Datum Staffel theories and those supposed particle cannons. I mean, could Seeger be about a metaphorical victory?
It's possible.
Maybe escaping a situation that got out of hand.
Yeah.
Or did it get physical?
That's the question, isn't it?
But then there's that line, elegant wie ein Elephant in Porzellanen. Like an elephant in a china shop?
Right.
I mean, that is so bizarre. So, Mike, it's like something he would totally say.
You think so?
Especially after a few Doppelkorn.
Yeah. The imagery definitely fits with his offbeat humor and, his tendency to make these outrageous comparisons.
Right. But could this be a red herring?
Maybe.
Could Mikkel be someone trying to channel Mike's style? Trying to, capitalize on his disappearance?
It's a possibility.
Or even pay homage to him?
That, too. We have to consider all the angles.
Hold on, though. Remember that older Doza Crew track?
Which one?
Dursnot.
Oh, yeah.
They literally describe Mike in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Mike die
Exactly.
Legende, immer der Erste am Start mit seinem Spruch, einfach eisenhart. They even nail his weird humor with that line about spitting into a glass to make it look fuller.
Huh. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I mean, it's like they knew him inside and out.
You've got a good point. Whoever wrote Dursnot definitely had a deep understanding of Mike's personality and his quirks.
Right.
That definitely strengthens the case for Mickle being Mike,
Yeah.
maybe using a pseudonym to stay under the radar.
Okay, but here's something that's been bugging me. In that last Mike's Waffenfax episode, they were talking about these new particle cannons
Uh-huh.
developed by the Solar Soldatenstaffel.
Right, the Solar Soldier Squadron.
Yeah, I know it sounds like a classic Mike conspiracy theory.
It does.
But what if there's some truth to it?
Okay.
What if he stumbled onto something he shouldn't have, and that's why he's gone?
It's a possibility worth exploring. We need to understand what the Solar Soldatenstaffel even means, how it fits into Mike's worldview, and whether there's any evidence to support his claims.
Right, because it could be pure fantasy,
Exactly.
but it could also be the key to this whole puzzle.
Absolutely.
So, are these songs a cry for help? A coded message? Or is Mike just messing with us, playing some elaborate game from the shadows? I gotta know what you think.
Well, it's like he left us this puzzle, and we're trying to piece it together.
Right, with like these random pieces.
Exactly. Lyrics, podcasts, snippets, that fan video, it's all connected somehow.
And speaking of puzzles, let's talk about Mickle.
All right.
Is that Mike like intentionally misspelling his own name? Is it a code? A pseudonym?
It's possible.
Or is it someone else completely riding this whole mystery wave?
Hard to say.
I mean, that misspelling, though.
Yeah.
It feels so deliberate.
It does, doesn't it?
Almost like a little wink to anyone who knew Mike.
Right.
And his whole thing with like bending the rules.
Especially with language. Think about all those times he'd butcher those historical names. Or weapon terminology.
On Mike's Waffenfax, he'd always play it off as a joke.
Yeah.
But maybe it was his way of like creating this personal code.
Oh, I like
Like
that.
a secret language.
Communicating on multiple levels. A hidden message.
Hiding in plain sight.
Exactly.
Maybe these lyrics are full of that same kind of double meaning.
Could be.
Yeah.
What do you have in mind?
Okay, so in Wanderer, he talks about walking the streets like the last Wagerbund.
Wagerbund.
Yeah, I don't speak German, but I'm pretty sure that's not a real word.
You're right, it's not a standard German word. But it sounds awfully close to Wagenburg.
Wagenburg. What's that?
It means wagon fort. It's a historical term often used when pioneers would circle their wagons for defense.
Okay, so is he talking about a literal wagon fort? Or is this some metaphor?
Yeah.
Feeling isolated, creating his own little fortress while he's wandering.
It's interesting, isn't it? It could be both. It could reflect his state of mind,
Yeah.
feeling besieged, needing to protect himself. But remember, Mike's Waffenfax had a really diverse audience.
That's true.
Some people might have taken his words literally. What if there's a real Wagenburg connection?
Whoa. Like some secret society.
Maybe. Or a location. It could be a signal to someone specific, maybe a group he was involved with.
Or a trail for anyone who can crack the code.
Exactly. And this brings us back to those Solar Soldatenstaffel discussions on the last podcast. You remember how Rickard was pushing back against Mike's theories?
Oh, yeah.
Saying they were too far-fetched, even dangerous.
Uh-huh.
What if Mike actually stumbled onto something real, something that made him a target?
And those claims about the Solar Soldatenstaffel planning a Mars invasion in 2035. I mean, it sounds ridiculous.
It does.
But what if Mike genuinely believed it? What if he thought he was exposing some massive conspiracy?
It's possible. We need to understand the whole context of the Solar Soldatenstaffel. It translates to Soldier Squadron.
Right.
Knowing Mike, he probably latched onto this idea of a secret, technologically advanced military group,
Oh, yeah?
maybe even tying it into his fascination with space weaponry.
Oh, totally. Classic Mike weaving together real historical events with his own elaborate theories.
Right. So in Seeger, when he mentions a fight and a hole in the head, is he describing an actual physical altercation?
Right.
Or is it more about the mental struggle? The realization that maybe he got in too deep with his investigations?
Ooh, good point.
It could be both. The lyrics are open to interpretation. Maybe Seeger the victor refers to him surviving a dangerous situation, maybe even escaping with his life?
Okay, but where did he escape to? What kind of victory is he celebrating?
Good questions. We need more clues.
And remember that line in Wanderer about knowing his way like a craftsman. Could this be a hint about his current job?
Oh, interesting.
Maybe he's using his knowledge of weapons or military history to stay off the grid.
Yeah, like working under the radar.
Exactly.
That would explain why he chose the name Mill, similar enough to his real name to be recognizable, but different enough to provide some anonymity.
Right. Like he's saying, I'm still Mike, but I'm not the same Mike you knew.
Exactly.
Like he's gone through a transformation, a rebirth even. And that repeating phrase, Guten Morgen, mein kleiner Sonnenschein, it takes on a whole new meaning now.
It does, doesn't it?
Could it be a message to someone specific? Maybe someone he had to leave behind.
It's possible. Or a more universal message of hope. A way of saying he's looking towards a brighter future even in all this chaos.
I like that.
Like a secret handshake. A way of letting those who understand him know that he's still out there. Still fighting.
But what is he fighting for? What's he fighting against? And who are his enemies?
That's the million-dollar question.
It's like we're in this web, right? All these clues, but the more we try to untangle them, the more tangled they get. So what's the bottom line here? Is Mike trying to tell us something specific with these songs? Or is this all just like a giant elaborate prank?
Yeah.
You know, classic Mike.
Well, that's the beauty of art, isn't it? So many interpretations. The meaning isn't just what the creator intended, but how we, the audience, receive it. And knowing Mike, someone who loved to provoke and challenge his listeners, even if there is a genuine message in these songs, it's probably layered with his dark humor and a good dose of mind games.
Oh, totally. Remember how he was always saying, read between the lines, question the narrative?
Oh, yeah.
He'd be loving this right now. Us dissecting these lyrics, looking for hidden meanings in every metaphor, every weird German phrase.
He might be having a good laugh at us, too, at how seriously we're taking it all. But that's part of his genius, isn't it? He's got us thinking, questioning, digging deeper.
That's true.
And that's a valuable skill in itself, whether Mikkel turns out to be Mike or not.
It's like he turned his disappearance into this real-life escape room, scattering clues across his podcasts, weaving them into these songs. And it's up to us, his Kampfgesellen, as he called us, to put the pieces together.
And that's where you come in, dear listener. What have we missed? What connections can you make? Go back, listen to those Mike's Waffen Facts episodes. Study the lyrics, analyze that fan video. Maybe you'll see something we haven't.
Yeah, this isn't a mystery we can solve on our own. We need all hands on deck, a community of minds working together. So share your theories, your insights, your wildest guesses. Because who knows, maybe somewhere out there, Mike is listening, watching, waiting to see if we'll crack the code.
And if we do, then what? Will we find Mike? Will we help him? Or will we uncover something we were never meant to see?
Those are the questions that'll keep me up at night. Well, this deep dive has taken us down some strange paths.
It has.
But that's the thrill of it, right? Embracing the unknown, questioning everything, never losing that sense of curiosity. So keep those minds working. Keep searching for the truth. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get to the bottom of that together. Until next time, stay curious and keep on digging.